Hello everybody, welcome back for another story from St. John the Baptist Dixie Anglican Church. My name is Janice Crutchman and I am so grateful that you could join us in the circle today. You know, for me, today is one of those days where I'm busy, there's lots to do, there's lots to worry about, I'm tired, and I find that those days in particular are the days when I really enjoy stopping, putting everything down and listening to or reading or sharing one of the stories we have. It just feels good and I feel better when I've done that. So thank you very much for helping me feel better today. And I'd like again to welcome you to the circle wherever you are watching this from and whenever you are watching this and whoever you are watching this with. Thank you very much for being here today. It's good to have you join us. Well, let's begin as we always do. There was once someone who said such wonderful things and who did such amazing things that people began to follow them. And one day, these people just had to ask, "Who are you?" This person said, there we go, let it grow a little bit taller. This person said, "I am the light." But that light couldn't stay in just that time, in just that place, or with just those people. So the light changed. The light changed so it could be with all people, in all places, and in all times. Where you are today and where I am today, the same light is with us. Well, today's story takes place in the desert. And we've seen the desert before, but it's important to talk about the desert because a lot of important things happened in the desert, and we have to know a bit about it. The desert is a beautiful and a very dangerous place. The wind blows, and the hills and the sand change shape, so it's hard to know where you are. There's very little water, very little to eat, very little grows there, so you have to be careful. In the daytime, the sun burns so hot on your skin, and at nighttime, it can get very cold. And when the wind blows the sand, it is blown so hard it can really sting your skin. People who go to the desert have to wear a lot of clothes to protect themselves. This is Jerusalem. This is Jerusalem. Here is the wall. This was the city of David, the city of the people of God. Here is Haran, and here is Babylon. Sometimes the people of God forget who they are. They hide from God and pretend that God isn't there. Sometimes they even worship other gods. There are also people who come so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they know what God wants them to say or to do. These people are called prophets. They know the best way. Both men and women can be prophets, and both boys and girls can be or can grow up to be prophets. King Solomon, as wise as he was one who hid from God, who may have forgotten God was there. After he would die, his kingdom would be divided into two parts. And a prophet named Ahijah showed that God knew this was the best way. He took off his new cloak and cut it into 12 pieces. 10 pieces were for the tribes that were around the city of Samaria, the capital of the northern kingdom. And 2 pieces were for the tribes around the city of Jerusalem, the capital of the southern kingdom. After King Solomon did die, this prophecy came true, and God sent prophets to both kingdoms. Some prophets, like Elijah and Elisha, left none of their own words that they directly wrote down. They were either lost or were never written down. Others wrote down what God told them to say, or some of their friends wrote down their words for them. I want to show you something about the ones who left their words for us. Here are 4 small scrolls to help us remember. This one is very interesting. It has the writing of the 12 minor prophets. They're called minor prophets because they didn't leave as many words. This one is called Isaiah, but it really has the writing of 3 Isaiahs on it. This one has all the words we have of Ezekiel, and this one has the words of Jeremiah. Now, let's see what happened. Here is the southern kingdom, where Jerusalem is. A prophet who spoke to them is Amos. I will put the scroll of the 12 minor prophets there to remind you. Let me read something from this scroll. I despise your feasts, and I take no delight in your solemn assemblies. Take away from me the noise of your songs. To the melody of your harps I will not listen. But let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Amos spoke for God to the priests and to the king. This is what all the prophets did. Now here are the names of all the prophets on that scroll: Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Amos was from the south, but spoke to the kings of the north. Some prophets were from the south, and some were from the north. I'll put the scroll here to remind us. One day, the southern kingdom was conquered by Assyria. Then the Assyrians surrounded Jerusalem. The people were afraid, but the Assyrians went away. Isaiah of Jerusalem said that the kingdom would fall, but that a remnant, a few of the people, would be saved. It was not the Assyrians, but the Babylonians who took the city, and they took many people into exile. The second Isaiah must have been one of those people who was taken and wrote his words in Babylon. He said there would be a highway made straight in the desert, that they would go home one day. He was so hopeful. I'll come back to this scroll for the third Isaiah in just a moment. Jeremiah stayed in Jerusalem. He said that the city would fall, but that the people of Jerusalem would not understand what he was talking about. Finally, when the Babylonians came, he and Baruch, his scribe, went to Egypt with some others to be safe. But he was very sad. Ezekiel wrote in Babylon. He was taken away with one of the first groups, even before Jerusalem was torn down. He was a prophet in his new home. He told the people in exile that Jerusalem would be destroyed and that they would not go home soon. After Jerusalem was destroyed, he had visions of hope that they would go home again. They would be like dry bones in a valley that put themselves back together again, turned into people, and walked to their old home. The third Isaiah was one of the people who went back to Jerusalem. The people there were not really glad to see him and the others who returned. The city was still broken down. Many of the walls there were still black from the fires the Babylonians had set. This Isaiah helped the people and the priests get ready for a time when they would not have their own king. These are some of the prophets in the Old Testament. We know a lot about them because their words were written down a long time ago. Today, there are still prophets. They speak to the rulers and leaders, to the priests, the ministers, and the rabbis, and to the people. They still say and do what God wants them to say and do. They help all of us know the true way, the best way to live and to die. Prophets come from all kinds of places and are all kinds of people, just like you. Like you. I wonder if anyone in the circle today is or will become a prophet. I wonder what part of the prophets you like best. I wonder what part you might find most interesting. I wonder if the prophets we have in the Bible are all the prophets we need. I wonder if you know any prophets, or if any prophets know you. And again, I wonder what story we'll share next week. I wonder if you'll be able to join us. I really hope you come back. I feel much better now. Thank you for your time with us today. Take care of each other, have a good week, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone. Well, there you are. Hi. Are you going to come sit with me? Am I recording? Yes, I am.